The Amazon night was thick with mist, and every sound in the darkness felt alive. Leaves whispered like secrets. Branches cracked as if something heavy shifted in the shadows. Somewhere deep in that endless green maze, 4 friends, Aaron, Zoe, Maya, and Ryan, moved quickly but carefully, their hearts thundering louder than their footsteps. They weren't there for treasure or gold, but for something far stranger. Legend spoke of a flower that devoured anacondas, the eternal bloom. A plant that not only killed the beasts, but thrived on their flesh, growing stronger with each kill. And in its nectar, they believed, was the secret to life itself. A medicine to keep humans alive far longer than nature intended. But legends never came without blood. A sudden hiss cut through the air. The ground vibrated with something massive sliding through the undergrowth. Aaron lifted his lantern, his hands trembling, and the dim light reflected off a pair of enormous, glistening eyes. From the shadows uncoiled a monstrous anaconda, thicker than any tree trunk, its scales gleaming wet under the faint light. "Oh my God," Maya's voice cracked, backing into Zoe. "It's following us! Run!" Ryan shouted, swinging his machete at the vines as they bolted. The Amazon closed in, clawing at their clothes with thorns and branches. Behind them, the giant anaconda surged forward, its breath hissing, its coils tearing through the jungle floor like thunder. The 4 burst into a clearing, and there it was, the eternal bloom. Its petals were black as night, veins glowing a faint, bloody red, as if pulsing with something alive. Its core was open, lined with long, needle-like tendrils, swaying like the arms of a hungry predator. A sweet yet rotting scent filled the air, making their stomachs twist. "We found it," Zoe gasped, eyes wide. "The flower is real." But the anaconda slid between them and the bloom, rising in dreadful coils, its head towering above. Its tongue flickered, tasting the fear in the clearing. Then it struck. Ryan slashed with his machete, the blade glancing off the thick scales. The anaconda whipped its tail, knocking him against a tree with a bone-snapping crack. Zoe screamed his name, but Aaron yanked her back just before the massive head slammed into the ground where she had been. The earth trembled with the impact. Maya's voice shook. "The flower, it eats them, remember? If we can lure it close." The words died in her throat as the anaconda lunged, catching her by the leg. Her screams tore through the jungle as she clawed at the mud, nails bloody, dragging herself. The others tried to help, Ryan hacking at its coils, Zoe hurling stones, but the beast was too strong. With a sickening crunch, Maya was crushed in its grip before being dragged into the coils, her cries silenced. "No." Zoe's sobs broke into the night, her hands trembling. Aaron's eyes locked on the flower. Its petals were moving, stretching wider, the crimson veins glowing brighter, the tendrils reaching outward hungrily. "It's reacting!" Aaron shouted. "Get it closer!" Together, he and Ryan shoved at the anaconda with rocks, forcing its massive body toward the flower. The bloom lashed out, tendrils wrapping around its head. The beast writhed, thrashing with earth-shaking force, its body crashing against trees. But the tendrils sank deep, pulling it down, petals closing around its head like jaws. The sound was sickening. The anaconda's body twisted, convulsed, then began to wither, its muscles collapsing as if drained from the inside. The flower grew taller, darker, veins glowing brighter, feeding on the giant beast. Zoe staggered back, clutching Aaron. "It's real. It really eats them." But the horror was not over. The jungle erupted with hissing. From the shadows, from the trees, from the riverbank beyond, dozens of massive shapes slid forward. The clearing filled with the sound of scales grinding against earth. Eyes glowed in the mist. More anacondas, bigger, thicker, countless, emerged from the Amazon's depths, drawn to the death cries of their kin. "There are too many," Zoe whispered, voice broken. The battle began again. Aaron swung a burning branch, fire crackling as he fought to hold them back. Ryan screamed, hacking at one thick coil after another. Zoe hurled rocks, her voice raw from screaming. They tried to push the anacondas toward the bloom, hoping it would devour them all. But the anacondas were endless. One struck Zoe from behind, coiling her mid-scream, lifting her into the air before her bones snapped. Ryan charged, but another head struck, jaws snapping over him, dragging him into the dark coils. Aaron ran. His breath tore from his throat, his chest burning. He ran blind, the jungle spinning, the ground shaking as more anacondas surged around him. The lantern shattered, plunging him into blackness. Still he crawled, dragging himself toward the only light, the red glow of the eternal bloom. "Please," he gasped, pressing against it. "Eat them, not me." The tendrils wrapped around his arms, caressed his face. For a heartbeat, he thought the flower would save him, that it would shield him if he gave it enough prey. But the bloom was too strong now, too hungry. Its petals closed around him, muffling his final scream. The anacondas circled, watching as the flower drank him whole. When the petals opened again, silence filled the Amazon clearing. Only the eternal bloom remained, taller, darker, its veins pulsing like rivers of blood. The anacondas slithered back into the jungle, vanishing into the mist, and the flower swayed alone, waiting for the next fools who would come seeking eternal life.